When I first met my mother, she couldn't pronounce my name. My father suggested that they rename me. They picked Luce, which means light.
If you Googled model student, Luce Edgar's picture would come up on the computer.
Given Luce's background, you and Peter must have faced quite a few challenges. The language barrier, the culture shock.
I mean, you don't pull a kid out of a war zone and have him turn out like Luce without a lot of help.
Which is why this is so difficult.
Difficult?
Last week, he wrote a paper in which he argued that violence was a necessary cleansing force.
You teach this?
I don't.
So what?
Just something's going on, and I want to be in front of it.
She thinks I'm a poster boy, black kid who overcame his tragic past.
You really don't like her, do you?
Okay, what about a responsibility to tell the truth?
What?
This. Go!
You don't conform to what she wants, and suddenly you're the enemy.
This woman has some kind of vendetta against Luce.
Isn't there a chance that what he wrote just went over your head?
I can tell the difference between miscommunication and provocation.
Like it how writing something like that might make someone freaked out. You really think I believe that stuff?
I don't know.
What were your own reactions when the project first comes to you? I don't know from the start if you were ever skeptical of him.
Yeah, I was. I was definitely skeptical. Because, you know, for me, I was reading it and I was going, okay, what is this version of this young black boy we're about to portray? What does this mean? Why is he fighting? Because my dad's a teacher, so I took some of it personally. To see a kid interact, and I was like, I went to a private school and I felt defensive at first. And I was like, you are problematic. And then I had to do the research and kind of go, okay, I understand why you're doing this, I understand where this is coming from, and it makes sense. You don't want to be put in a box. I agree.
You know, I was on his side in the beginning, and in many ways, I will always be on his side, because I think there's things, you know, what I would always tell Kelvin is that Luce is a budding revolutionary. There's things he believes, and there's actions he takes because of those beliefs. And it's not to say that I necessarily agree with every action he takes, but I think there's things that at the core of what he's getting at about identity and power and privilege and what's unfair in our culture that are important things for all of us to consider.
Kelvin, something you did real brilliant is this character, throughout the whole movie, he's like Cool Hand Luce. And I was
We
wondering,
haven't gotten that one yet.
Yeah.
We've gotten Footloose, we've gotten Every Which Way But Loose, Cool Hand Loose, that's great.
no, he stays calm. And so I was wondering if you talked to me about playing this character.
Honestly, that's a lot of what Julius brought to it. He told me he was like, he needs to be very in control, and he's very settled, and he has this ease about him that makes everyone feel comfortable and want to talk to him. So it is the whole Obama thing. It's the Will Smith thing that we talk about. It's like these people that make you want to have a conversation with. So doing that was just watching those videos on repeat. And just trying to figure out how to smile and not make it seem like I'm gonna die. Right. You know, that was pretty much most of it, yeah.
Julius, I mean, so this was a play. So I would like to hear about your experience of, doing this as a feature, and because it's kind of a different also from doing something like Cloverfield Paradox. Come back to something from big to small.
Well, you know, it was important to honor the integrity of the play and the themes of the play, but I didn't want to do a play on film, right? I didn't want to get great actors like Kelvin and the rest of the cast and just then put a camera in front of them. It had to operate as a movie, so the real critical thing was expanding the movie, you know, what I describe horizontally and vertically. So horizontally in terms of, you know, taking those themes and really thinking about them in a larger way, and then vertically in terms of the plot, just adding more story, adding more characters, finding ways to take those themes and dramatize them in more situations. So we took glimmers of little bits and pieces of story and character, and then use that to inform the greater story that you saw in the film. I'd written the first draft, I co-wrote the film with JC, but what that gave me was the freedom to not stay slavish to it, and then turning back to JC, who has such an incredible grasp and understanding of who these people are and elements of the language to imbue that in it. So it ended up being this really nice marriage of yin and yang, director and co-writers together, kind of coming from different directions to hopefully make it feel as complete as possible.
You threatened your teacher?
I didn't.
Luce, don't lie to me.
I'm not.
Luce.
It's the truth.
What happened with Miss Wilson?
There were a lot rumors.
This woman decided to go after him on some witch hunt.
My home was vandalized.
I'm not going to ruin some kid's life because you come in here with some hunches.
Is my son being accused of a crime here?
He sure as hell is about to be.
It's like I only get to be a saint or a monster.
Tell me the truth!
This woman's just gone through a mental breakdown.
What are you doing?
He's lying, Dan.
Period.
Once you know something, you can't unknow it.
I want to know. No matter what.
Just goes to show you. You never really know what's going on with people.